Welcome to Coffee Break with the Home Collective, your 10-minute quick caffeine fix for all things Philly real estate. We're swapping out our evening cocktails for steaming mugs of joe as we dish out the latest buzz on the housing scene. I'm Kristin McFeely, and here with my sidekick and teammate Bill Ball, we're taking a midday office break and heading across the street to our favorite coffee shop. So grab a cozy corner booth, sip that espresso, and let's spill the beans on all things brick and brews in Philadelphia.
So, Kristin, did you see that crazy listing in my neighborhood? It was originally listed at $25 million. They did a price reduction to like $19,750. Did you see that?
I'm looking at it right now, actually. 2801 Riverton Road.
2801 Riverton Road. This is not new news. It's been up now for almost a year.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we talked about it at all. I pass it almost every day, and it's just so confusing to me.
That's a perfect word for it. It's so confusing.
I can't wrap my head around this house. It's gigantic. Right. It is.
It's new construction.
Yeah, everything's brand new, and it almost looks like a cinder block exterior. It's not, but it's like this, almost like castle-looking building.
They're calling it French. That's how they're describing this. I mean, I have to say, it almost doesn't look. At least from the photos here, it almost doesn't look like a residence. Like it looks like a hotel or something.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing. I'm thinking this looks like a hotel. It's 40,000 square feet. Let that sink in. It's 40,000 square feet. And not to get in too much of the background of it, because you could just Google it and see the story. But apparently, it was a husband and wife of I think a pharmaceutical tech company they were removed from the company. That's what it was. So they were building this property, and they're no longer at the company, and they never moved into it, and it's been up for sale for the last year, and it's not even completed construction. It's the largest house I've ever seen that I can remember seeing. But I was talking to my wife about this the other day, and I said, it almost feels like they were building a small city for themselves. And I was thinking maybe because of COVID, they just wanted everything in one spot so they never have to leave.
Yeah, like a compound.
But I think the construction started before COVID. Oh, so gotcha. I can't figure out.
Well, it must have, because it's been on the market for about a year now. So it must have started. It's crazy. It's even got like a gatehouse at the front.
I've been thinking about this property. And again, for those that want to Google it while we're talking about it, it's 2801 Riverton Road in Cinnaminson. I can't wrap my head around, like, who would actually use this for their home. Like, I get it if it's like, I almost thought maybe they can convert it into some kind of crazy wedding venue. You know what I mean? Where all the guests can stay there at once. The wedding's there in the back, and, you know, the place would probably get destroyed. But, you know, I can't imagine just like a husband and wife saying, yeah, this'll do. You know, I mean, like, where do you stay? You can't possibly use every one of these rooms. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Well, what's really crazy is, so I'm not as familiar with this area. I know this is right around the corner from your new place. So I'm on Google Street View, and I'm kind of like rolling down the street here with my mouse. And there's like a development across the street that's just like modest homes, like, you know, normal homes. It's just so bizarre in where it's located.
Well, yeah, it's like it butts up against Moorestown. So those houses you see, I think if you're facing the property on the left side of the property, I think that starts Moorestown right there. And
Oh,
those are
gotcha,
big homes.
gotcha.
Those are nice homes.
That's a beautiful
But those
house.
are normal
Yeah.
homes. You know what I mean? Like this thing, I don't know. So it took them a long time to reduce it to $5 million that they did, and it's still. I'm not saying it's, grossly overpriced for what it is, but I just can't imagine anyone paying this price for it here. You know what I mean? Like you're not in Malibu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right.
Like you're in Cinnaminson. Well, I live in Cinnaminson, and I'm saying it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you're going to spend $20 million. So I think that a company or a corporation has to buy it. It's got to be for some corporate functioning. You know what I mean? It probably would go to a pharma company because that's who has all the money these days, where you can almost have a retreat there or something. Because I can't imagine, anyone needing to. Who the hell would live there? I can't think.
It makes no sense. And it's on almost 8 acres as well. I was trying to look up the taxes, but I guess they don't have them yet because it's new construction. Yeah, it's crazy. It talks about having geothermal HVAC system, an automobile elevator. It's got an indoor pickleball court, multiple elevators, 4 floors, 6 fireplaces. I mean, yeah. Oh, it's got a pub tavern room for the sports enthusiast, a home gym, sauna, home theater, wine cellar. It's got a chapel. It has a chapel for meditation room and quiet contemplation. This is crazy. We should give a shout out to the listing agent here, too.
Sure,
I hate always talking about listings without giving a little shout. Kevin Steiger from Kerfis Sotheby's is the listing agent.
That pub tavern is really cool. I mean, that in itself could be a facility. It has pool tables and all kind of games set up, and then it has, for the golf enthusiasts, I think we know some of them, it has a gigantic golf bay indoor, where you come in with your clubs and play and then sit at the bar. I mean, this bar has more bar stools than some of the bars I go to.
An Applebee's?
Yeah, this bar is a little bit nicer than the Applebee's down the street.
I know, that's your bar of choice. Well, it even says here, there's this weird, wait, hold on, where I just saw it in the description. The main owner's suite offers a large separate sitting area with fireplace, spacious dual walk-in closets, and a spa bathroom with a unique tube elevator that delivers you directly to the gym. What does that mean? I picture like the bank tubes, where you put
that's kind of how they.
That's
kind of how they. I think a tube elevator, if I'm not mistaken, is one that there's not a shaft. There's not an elevator shaft. I think you step in.
I actually have a listing
closes
that has
around
one of those.
you, and then when it moves up, it's no longer. There's nothing in the room that resembles that there was an elevator there, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, so actually I have a listing right now in Chestnut Hill that has one from the basement to the first floor. Yeah. And it does have in the dining room like 2, I don't know what you
They're
call them.
They're kind of like electrical poles.
Yeah,
they're flush against the wall. So you could still use the space. Yeah,
so when the elevator is down in the basement, the floor is flush.
Right.
Like you're standing on top of the elevator, the floor is flush. So that must be the tube elevator.
Yeah, that's probably a tube elevator.
Wild. I'm picturing like one of those drive-through bank, old-timey bank things where the money just flies.
It just moves a little slower than that. You can't have you can't be vacuum sucked into another room like it's the Jetsons. You remember that? The
Jetsons, right? That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You would have that sound effects when George would get thrown in the next room. That's hilarious.
You know what's the craziest thing though? Did you pull up? This can't be right. I don't know if you're on the Compass website, but I am. And when you look at it, you can go to past photos, and it shows the house that was previously there. That I guess they must have knocked down.
Yeah, they just tore that down.
This thing.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. I love this little old house.
Yeah, they trampled
this
that
makes
thing.
me sad.
Yeah, they trampled that.
They totally trampled it, and it's lovely. You should see it. It's beautiful. Oh, I love the old house.
Funny.
But that's just me. Yeah, this old house is great. What a wild, totally
Oh,
wild.
so when I was passing by, this has to be, I want to say, I think it was before the summer, or maybe right at the beginning of the summer, April, May-ish. There was all kind of signs out front of the property, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And and I forget what the signs said, but it was something like location shoot or whatever, and I saw cameras in there, and then I found out someone's actually doing a documentary on the property. And I was doing some Google, and I can't find it, but I'm wondering when that's going to be out. But there was a crew in there shooting, and I think there's going to be like a whole story. Like, there's plenty of blog articles on this property right now, so if you Google the address, a couple different places did blog articles on it so you can find the information. But then I did see a documentary crew filming there, and I'm assuming that'll be out relatively soon, so that would be interesting to check out.
Yeah, definitely. Did you ever see the documentary The Queen of Versailles?
No.
Did you ever see that one? That was another one. I think it was 2012 that came out, and it was a documentary film that depicts the owners of Westgate Resorts and their family. They built this private residence called Versailles, and it was the largest and most expensive single-family house in the U.S. And then they faced, the economy declined and everything else, and I don't think they ever finished it. It's in Florida.
This sounds familiar with this property.
Crazy. Yeah, that's what this sounds like, right?
Yeah.
This sounds just like it. You should watch that documentary
maybe I'll check. You have to text me because I'll forget 2 seconds what it's called.
Yeah.
But I'm not even saying that what they did here is not worth the number. I'm just trying to still, like, maybe everything they put in, all the bells and whistles and pound for pound, it's really worth. But I just can't imagine who would do it. Like, I just can't see an individual doing this. It has to be like a company. You know what I mean? Like a tech company or a pharma company, and they're like, yeah, we need to be here because we need to be close to New York and D.C. and Philly, and we just, you know what, we'll just have a complex here. Nobody has to pay for hotels. They'll come here. We'll shuttle them there. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of that makes sense. But
it's pretty wild, though. I'm just very sad because I'm looking at the old pictures of the old house right now, which sold for $640, and it was a beautiful home, a really beautiful home. So that just makes me sad. But yeah, this is crazy.
All right, Kristin, I was just curious what your thoughts were. I was dying to check out this property and talk about it with you, but we got to get back to work.
We do.
I'll see you at happy hour.